Welcome to the cleanest city of Europe, Minsk, the capital of Belarus, that has a lot of Soviet history, and you can see it here. The sculpture, which is named Solidarity. The most iconic part is below there's a KFC, which is a collision of two ideologies, communism and capitalistic ideology. The sculpture was built in 1960s, but the KFC opened in 2015. It shows quite a contrast how KFC is a representation of the American symbolism, and we have at the top what communism and what the society stands for hard work, for togetherness, for unity. The style of this architecture is social realism. Back then that was the main architectural designs. It's quite an impressive image to look at, as you can tell. So this is Belarus. We'll see more of the Soviet history here on the streets. The preparations for the Victory Day of 9th of May is underway. As you can see, it's a big day in Belarus and Russia, and the big parades as well. I believe over here is the main circus, the central circus for the city. So what Belarus is famous for, it was considered one of the cleanest European cities. And I'm here to confirm this throughout this whole trip. So far so good. No visible trash whatsoever. As long as I've been walking, I haven't found any trash at all. Look at this wonderful river in the middle of the city. Gives it a nice comfort walk next to it with the Broadway. Nice little houses. Belarus is not what you expect. It's much better. I found a memorial that is dedicated to the fallen soldiers of Belarus that fought in the Afghanistan war in 1970s. As you know, Soviet Union was fighting in Afghanistan for over 10 years, 70s and 80s. And this memorial is dedication to the soldiers. At the bottom, you can see the mothers who are honoring their children. It's a depressing memorial, but it's an important one. Another wonderful park in Minsk. The people who take care of the streets are amazing. I give really high props. I mean, look at it. It feels like winter, but it's in the middle of April, and there's the Ballet and Opera Theater. Another building with the social realism architecture. It's like an open museum in the city. Anywhere you go, you can find the Soviet style architecture. Very impressive. I like history, so this is exciting for me. I'm standing outside of Lee Harvey's house. Lee Harvey was the assassin accused of killing John F. Kennedy in 1960s. He came here after being discharged of the Marine Corps. He originally wanted to study at Moscow State University, but they refused him. So they sent him in a factory to work in Minsk. And he got this apartment. It's a pretty luxurious apartment. It came with a cost. The cost was that next door to him was a KGB agent who overheard his conversations. In 1961, he married a local woman, and they lived here until he got bored. The reason he got bored, he said that there were no restaurants, no cinemas, no nightclubs, and then he came back to United States. After he came back to United States, he was accused of killing John F. Kennedy, assassination in Dallas, Texas, and then he was imprisoned. The fascinating part is, if there was enough entertainment for him here in Minsk, maybe he would have stayed and the history could have turned out differently. An interesting observation about the bathrooms in the former USSR. Every time you go in, first of all, you have to pay, and second of all, there's always a woman who's collecting the money. So she's sitting right next to the toilets, like not near it, but at the entrance. There's never a man. It's quite interesting. Здравствуйте from a wonderful city of Minsk, in the middle of Belarus. Today I'm with my friend Sofia Laurent. she's my local guide, and she's taken me to the Museum of Cats. So many cats here. It's unbelievable. And Jimmy the cat is the director of cat. Come.
Я вот знаю, что боюсь на хвост чей-то наступить.
3, 4, 5. Much. They're hiding all over the place. Mm-hmm. Кстати, тут можно хорошую фотку сделать. So we're in the Cats Museum, and the story goes that these cats were abandoned in the streets. They were street cats, and then some company or this organization collected these cats and they vaccinated them and opened the museum. And the main director of this is a cat. That's a clever thing to do.
Бедненькие. Наверное, их такси замучили, да?
Yeah, I think so.
Дети.
I think the kids play a lot with these cats. Может, там еще есть?
Да нет, дырок нету. Да я не дрожу, чего дрожу?
Все, спасибо.
Все,
У вас это директор Джимми Кат его зовут? Что-то такое читала. Пончик?
Джимми был, наверное, лет 5 назад. Его отдали уже давно очень.
Интересно. Ну, спасибо большое. До свидания. So we just got done with the museum. I think it was a bit small, but it was interesting. It was unique to the city. I've never been to such places before, and it felt like a more of a playground for kids. Let's go this way. A fun fact about this country: 40% of Belarus is covered with forest, and city of Minsk, the population of Minsk is 2 million people. The population of Belarus is closer to 10 million, I believe. Belarus translates directly to Russian language White Russian, and this name came from when the Scandinavians started to migrate towards east and conquering Eastern Europe. They came here, and when the Mongols afterward conquered this land, they named Little Rus, Great Rus, which is Moscow, and they also named this part of Europe Belarus, and that's the story of the name. Look at this beautiful park. What's the name of this district? And I believe this is Lutheran church or Protestant church?
We'll see.
My friends, whoever is from Belarus, tell me what this church is all about, because I just went inside and they had a mass going on and I couldn't understand the language. I think it's Polish or something from Yugoslavian cities. So we're in the Independence Square of Minsk, and The reason why we come here is to see this wonderful statue.
MTV.
So in Belarus there was about 600 statues of Lenin, and then 200 of them were demolished after the independence from Soviet Union in 1991. And then this is one of the 400 statues that are left in the middle of the city. The father of communism is here. He's alive. He's around us. We can feel it.
He is alive? Что ты сказал?
It's my grandfather, but don't tell anybody, please.
Окей.
Wow. What a leader, what a figure. It just touches my heart. Look at the way he's standing. What's fascinating about Belarus is it's one of the countries from the former Soviet republics that preserves its Soviet history, compared to the Baltic states, where they demolish all the monuments, all the sculptures, they rename the streets to national names. But here in Belarus, you will see a lot of places like this musical theater, and this was built in Soviet Union with this design. It's good to keep the past alive, because that's how we understand our identities. And this is why I found Belarus like an open museum, similar to Rome. Rome has 2,000-year-old ancient history, and Belarus has a lot of the Soviet history that you can just see on the streets while walking here. Another example of Soviet preservation architecture. Look at this mosaic. It's massive, absolutely beautiful. I can't decipher it, who is dedicated to, but you can see what I'm filming. What about Minsk is that it has a lot of greenery here, a lot of parks. If you look on the map from the satellite image, you'll see most of the Minsk area is in green because of these parks. Look at this. Massive parks all around this place. It's beautiful, right? War Museum. The Soviet Union used to build in order to show their accomplishments and their achievements through these massive buildings and architectural designs. Another wonderful day in the city of Minsk. Today I'm on the outskirts and I'm visiting a park. Not just a park, but a park that has a manor that belonged to noble families from 16th century up until the revolution. Check this out. This was originally built from wood. The last noble family that lived here was the Lubinsky family, and they expanded the territory by building this guest house for the servants, and they also brought in lots of trees and botanical stuff because he was into botanics. Lubinsky's wife died, and for which causes we don't know, but the story goes that the husband killed her, and right after the death he escaped to the Caucasus Mountains and never returned. So the building was abandoned for some time. During World War II, this was the headquarters on the Eastern Front for the Nazis. Then it served as the agricultural research center for Soviet Union, and then for multiple decades it was abandoned until the independence of Belarus. And after the independence, they decided to reconstruct this place to its early 20th century format. And another interesting fact about this manor that it had the first plumbing bathroom system in the whole city of Minsk. So quite of a accomplishment that this mansion has. I've reached my final destination, the Gates of Minsk, which is a Stalinist era architectural accomplishment. It was built in 1952. On this place in 1945, they were doing excavations for the building of the new subway system, and they found the old wooden gates. And on this place, they decided to build these two towers. These two towers were the housing projects for the railway workers. And of course, they received the apartments for free. Now they've become this luxurious apartment complexes. It consists of 3 different designs, Baroque, Classicalism, and Art Deco, which is ironic because they didn't focus on one particular style. At the top over there, you can see the clock, which is the biggest clock in Belarus. The clock was a gift from Germany to Belarus during World War II. And at the right, you can see the Belarusian symbolism, the Soviet hammer and sickle. And once again, you can see that Minsk is the museum, an outdoor museum that hosts all these Soviet monuments, sculptures, buildings, and it's fascinating. I think it's the most interesting thing that you can see in Minsk. And around this place, you can find the main central railway station. Now I'm gonna take the subway, see the only underground system in Belarus. The token.
Наступне станція Flourishes.
Even though this was the Soviet cars in the metro underground station, but they are well maintained, clean, and beautiful. The cost of the metro is 35 cents in US. So if you come here, it's quite cheap to get around the city, including taxis. Taxi about 4 or 5 kilometers, it's $2-3. So what I like most about the city, that there's no traffic. I don't know, the way they designed it, the streets are not really that wide. I mean, 2 lanes each way, and the pedestrian side is quite wide for walking, and so 2 lanes each way, there's no traffic. This is the capital, 2 million people. Another wonderful aspect about the transportation system, that it has various public transports, such as the bus, the trolley, the streetcars, the metro, and affordable taxis. So gotta give it up to the city administration. Even though the system, the trolleys, the metro is old, it's clean, it's working, it's safe, and it's on time. So you'll never be late anywhere. So we arrived in the Belarusian restaurant, traditional, and Sofia today is going to explain all the dishes that we're going to eat. Yes?
I will try.
But
Потому вообще-то там.
Привет, Тань.
Здрасте.
Привет, так хочешь покушать?
Да.
Поднимайтесь.
Wow.
Прошу.
Хорошо. Here at the Belarusian traditional restaurant. Very good actually. Look at this environment. And the coolest part, look at the set. This is all homemade shots of like vodka and different. I would say it's more like liqueur. And we have here herring, bacon, pig's fat, salami. Very nice. The main courses. Biryani means like hash browns with onions. Then there's also pickles, sauerkraut, pig. And then she ordered fish. Fish and, I don't know, sauce, like cheese sauce and stuff like this.
No,
But
это
it's-
сливки.
With sour cream. Pretty delicious. We'll try the main courses. So we just finished with our dinner. I think it was wonderful and it was delicious, tasty, real Belarusian food. A lot of drinks, a lot of tasting of the liquors, a little bit of beer. So yeah, to conclude, I highly recommend visiting this place. And Sophia, do you speak English? Do you recommend
I'm
this
totally
place?
full. I need to.
Do you recommend this place?
Yes, maybe for one time.
Okay,
It's
thank you very
okay,
much.
it's
Finally,
not bad.
she's happy. Finally, she's optimist, not a pessimist. All day, every day, pessimist. All right, cheers.